Hello again, everybody. It's the Honest Faker here again. My name's Emily Payne and I am a sex worker, and this is what my channel is about, being a sex worker in today's also busy world. Now, I'm such a modern miss. Now, today's video is about a disturbing story, disturbing aspect to sex work. I like to give you all angles, humorous, disturbing, and everything in between. And this one's disturbing. So if you're enjoying these videos, please, people, could you subscribe, like, share, whatever you people do out there, do it, and enjoy it. And this video is about an incident that happened a couple of weeks ago. And I turned on my work phone at 9 o'clock in the morning, as I do, and to check my work messages from potential clients. And one message said, do you see couples? Which means threesomes. I said yes. So the next message was disturbing. He went on to explain a scenario that he wanted that was basically soliciting somebody to rape his wife. He wanted it to when clients want something that's blatantly wrong and disgusting and they know they can get into trouble for, they pussyfoot about, they give you tip of the iceberg stuff, and they minimize everything. As if you're stupid and as if you don't know what's coming next. So he said, I want this to be my wife. Well, he started with my wife is 4'11", 40 kilograms, doesn't speak any English. I thought, well, no, that's it's not going to happen. From there, it's not going to happen that she doesn't speak any English. So I'd already decided, no, this isn't happening. But I want this set up like a surprise. So my wife won't know that I've set this up and it's all going to happen, and she'll come home. And he went through the whole scenario. So obviously at this point where he didn't know it was going to happen in a surprise, this all bullshit. No. So it's already a no. And so normally this text was really long as well. And when I get big, long texts, I generally don't read them because they're just going into too much detail. At the end of the day, I won't want the job if the text is really long, because it's like it means too much to them. You know what I mean? They put far too much thought into it. I've said these days, I'm a give us your money, get your cock out, let's do the do as quickly as possible, put your cock back and bugger off. Sort of merchant. That's what I am these days. I'm a money, cock, get lost merchant. I mean, ideally, don't even get your cock out, just get lost. But unfortunately, you do have to fiddle on with that cock for the money they've given you. Very unfortunate, that. But anyway, I digress, as I often do. If you watch these videos, I digress on a regular basis. And so I looked at this text and it was going on and on. So I kind of skimmed through it. But I had to start reading it properly because I couldn't believe what I was. Well, unfortunately, I could believe it, living in this world. And he wanted. I can't remember now. There was loads of it. He wanted us to. You can hit her, spit on her, asphyxiate her. Asphyxiate her. Once restrain her. They wanted certain types of restraints. Tied up. Once, and this I will never forget. It is absolutely vile. Asphyxiate her, and once she's like passed out or on the verge of passing out, you have my permission to open her arsehole. And when I read that, I just thought, oh, you know what I mean? I don't need this. This is, the job's bad enough without listening to this shit. And stupidly, I replied, didn't I? And I said, absolutely not. This is abuse or whatever. I replied. And then I thought, shit, I haven't taken a screenshot. Sorry for my language, by the way. I'm SH1T in it all over the place. I don't particularly like bad language, but sometimes it just comes out. Now, I hadn't screenshotted it, had I? How livid was I? Because the minute I replied and not within disgust, he deleted it. He deleted it. And it was all a split second like that. I was about to screenshot, he deleted it. So anyway, I thought I can't do nothing about this. I had his number, or at least it came through on WhatsApp and it had a name, like it has on WhatsApp, it has a name. Whether that was a burner phone and that was his real name, don't know. But I went down to the cop shop. And I've done this a few times in my time as a sex worker. When stuff like this has come through, this has been the most vile. This has been the vilest thing I've had requested. But there's been different things. There was a bestiality thing. Some man had asked us to have sex with, was it a horse? Anyway, it was something. And I just thought, I don't give them the benefit of the doubt. It may be a fantasy. It may be sort of, this is never going to happen. This is just in their fevered imagination. But I know that you get that, yes. In sex work, you get that all the time. You get these long texts and you can tell it's all just fantasy. It's bullshit. They're going off on a flight of fancy. They're having a wank texting you the big long text with all the fantasies in. They're getting their money's worth out of you before even giving you any money, which I object to. But this had a different tone. This was more serious. You don't, at the end of the day, I thought it's got to be a crime to even say things like that to somebody unsolicited. To say that, to text that to someone, it's obscene or it's an abuse of the person you're texting it to. Do you know what I mean? It's got to be something. It's some kind of crime. I went down to the police station and they took the details, they took the information, they sort of took it seriously, as it were. And that was on the Friday. And the Monday, a police officer rang us and we talked about it over the phone, and I gave him all the details. And I said, look, what can be done about this? Because at the end of the day, I could be lying about this text. I'd shown them the texts like before and after, the one he deleted. But at the end of the day, I didn't have the incriminating text. His name could have been false, the phone number could have been a burner, whatever. But I thought, it's in this situation, like I say, I have reported a couple of other things over the years, I'm sure, to the police. It's like a case of, I just have to feel like I'm doing something. If this is, let's presume this is a real situation and this wasn't fantasy, but even if it is fantasy, you shouldn't be fantasizing about stuff like that. And certainly not saying it to some innocent person who hasn't asked for that shit in that, to read that. And the officer basically said they'll just have to keep it as intelligence, which I knew they would say, because what else can they do? There's nothing they can do. And I did torture myself and see if I'd screenshotted it, could you have taken it a bit further, maybe? And he said, yeah, possibly, but still, it's all very sort of, there's not much they can do. I just thought there's some poor woman. Well, there's poor women out there. They're married to these men. And they need to know. Well, not that she let's face it, she's going to know that she's married to an arsehole. This isn't going to be the first time he's banged on about this sort of. Do you know what I mean? I thought, poor woman, 4'11", 40 kilograms, it's like a kid. And that made me sick. That's obviously why he's told us our stats, i.e., you'll be able to overpower her. Makes me sick. And I thought, you know what? I've just read that Giselle Pellicot's memoir. The woman who was, the husband was raping her, drugging her and raping her in France. It was a big news story. And I found that story fascinating. I very much admire that woman. Very much admire her. And I thought, he was only caught, the husband was only caught because he was upskirting, which is a more minor offence, still very serious and upsetting, but a more minor offence. And he was only caught in the rapes. And subsequently, he's under suspicion of other rapes, other women, and even a murder. And he was only caught because of the upskirting. So I'm a great believer, and you've got to report the small stuff, Because it's all in this business, you know, as a sex worker, it's all tip of the iceberg stuff, man. If only people would talk to sex workers a bit more, man. We know what's going on. We know our stuff. But nobody's talking to her. Because who wants to talk to a sex worker? Oh, silly women. What do they know? Thick as a brick. Well, we know a lot of stuff. Let me tell you. They should maybe consult us in this type of thing. Anyway, so that was the story. And it just, you know, makes me sick to think that there's these kind of things go through men's minds. You have my permission. Oh, that's disgusting, isn't it? My permission. Oh, the whole attitude that's just encapsulated in that one word. Sickening. So anyway, it's a serious video, this one. Something to think about. Goodbye.